That's the joke. Hey guys, the panel's in here. There you go. Where's Tom? There's Tom. Okay, cool. All right, come find a seat. You had to wear that shirt?
I did.
You had to wear that one?
I did.
Okay. Cool. You guys want to share a mic over there? You mind sharing one with Tom?
Yes.
Okay. Hi. That was really nice. My name is John Reisinger. I'm a graphic designer, and I'd like everybody else on this table to introduce themselves.
We're going left to right.
Sure, why not?
My name is Tony Simonetta. I'm also a graphic designer.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry.
Holy fuck, dude.
I'm Tobin Lee. I'm a graphic designer and illustrator.
Yeah. Michelle.
Okay, my name is Michelle Sontag. I am also a graphic designer.
Woo.
Tom Lasardi. It'd be weird if I wasn't a graphic designer.
I feel like this is a support group now. I didn't mean for that to be the trend of how everybody introduced themselves, but I'm fine with that. So yeah, spoiler alert, I'm not the only designer at the company. I haven't been for ever, any time ever. And we're actually a bigger group than ever, and I love it. So these are all the people that make everything that is printed or static digital media in Rooster Teeth. If you get an email, if you buy a shirt, if you look at a banner at RTX, if you do anything that involves that kind of stuff, someone here made it. So, hey, thank you. And we also want to briefly give a shout out. Are any of my freelancers in the house? Stand up. That's Roger. That's Roger. Roger, say your last name. Brunke, so it's the E, pronounce the E. That's Rogzilla. Roger, what have you done for us? You did the Twits and Crits posters.
Yeah, Twits and Crits, Heroes and Halfwits. I did, first thing was the, 5 Pokemon for that.
Oh yeah, you worked on the Extra Life poster and did a bunch of Pokemon for that poster. That poster was 20 different artists, and Roger was one of them.
Did the Screw Attack thing for the most recent Extra Life one.
Yep.
Done some other stuff.
Yep. Roger does a lot of stuff for us. Are any of my other freelancers in the house? I heard some are going to be visiting. None of them came. Only Roger. Roger, you're the only one who gets to keep your freelance job, okay? But yeah, I actually do know that Kel is here at RTX, and she's probably off doing stuff at Funhouse because that's all that matters to her world. But she also does a ton of stuff for us, and we love it. Gail Fox, Victoria Courtney also does a lot of stuff for us, and she's doing some stuff recently. She actually just finished a project for us that will involve Achievement Hunter and coloring book pages. I didn't get permission to say that, but fuck it. So yeah, so she just finished a project like that for us. Roger also finished a secret project for Achievement Hunter recently. The concept work for it. I won't spoil that one because we'll see how that one's gonna take a lot longer to finish. But yeah, so big fan of all these designers here, and big fan of all of the community designers that we find. I think that's a very important part of our company, to be hiring from the community. I mean, that's where I came from. I was illegally trying to sell fan art, and then they were like, please stop, and I said, okay, I will if you let me have a job interview, and that's how it worked out. And yeah, so love for really quick for everyone, just give a little background of what they kind of do at the company, just so you can, I just want you guys to meet these faces. No, these are faces you guys don't get to see. These are behind the scenes people that are creating, everything you guys are wearing is a lot of the stuff we work on in merch, and all these logos of all these brands that you guys love, that comes from here. And so I just wanted to make sure and put face to it, and then we can have some Q&A time. That sound okay with everybody? Okay, Tony, start us off.
All right, let's go.
Why do you work at Rooster Teeth?
Why do I work at Rooster Teeth? I started off as a fan. I was only a podcast fan. I was a started off at podcast like 22, I believe. And somebody got me into that, and then like everyone else that's my age, roughly mid-30s, so I was into RVB at the beginning, and then college happened and you get older and you don't have time for things like that. And I fell back into it, and I was a watch designer for about 9 years, designing licensed watches for every brand under the sun, including Disney, because I'm a huge Disney fan.
God, he is.
Huge. So I was doing that for a while, and then you just, as a designer, you kind of get burnout if you don't do something different. And I was kind of looking to escape, and the right listing came on at the right time, and I jumped in, and it was kind of it was almost the right listing. I was a marketing designer when I was hired a year ago.
Yeah,
And
we noticed a need to take some of the pressure off of a lot of our other like e-commerce designers to be designing all these email blasts and web ads and even just web content, and then even internal use stuff and sales stuff. And so
Before it was, you were a designer, you designed anything that was remotely design-ish. So I came in and helped the marketing team kind of play catch up for a long time. And then I've just recently kind of shifted over to be on the product side because I have a larger product background. So
Tony's
I'm
essentially
mostly-
running our merch design now.
I will be, yes. I'll get there.
And you are. You're doing good.
And so I also, on the side, freelance for Disney theme parks. So I do Disney theme park stuff. If anyone goes to Pandora, the World of Avatar, I did most of those shirts. That's me.
Someone just lost their shit in the front row. He did all the animatronics. He's really talented. Hey, Tony, tell them like one or two pieces of merch that you've made that they would know.
Oh, what did I do? Most of the box stuff, if anyone's double gold, I did a lot of the box stuff since April of this year. So almost all the box shirts, all the RTX box. If anyone bought that.
Space Kid shirt.
Camp Space Kid shirt.
That's Tony.
All that nonsense. The Rooster Teeth Stranger Things shirt, or not Stranger Things.
The illegal bootleg shirt you're wearing right now.
Shirt. This shirt, yes. The
You
RTX
stole my shirt
2017
and
shirt.
sprayed over it.
I did. I have some to give away at the end in the hallway of free stuff. I have some bootleg shirts. There's only 60 screen printed, so I'll throw them at the first 60 people I see. But yeah, like I said, I was a fan. Just I didn't make bootleg merch for that. Came in at the right time. It's all about right place, right time, and having work that you've done about something you're passionate about. Because you come in with, like, you're not going to come in with all the Rooster Teeth stuff already pre-designed. Some of you, I've seen some portfolios out there, and we troll portfolios, we troll Twitter profiles, Behance portfolios. Like, it's important to have a representation of yourself that I can look at. Because that's kind of what I had for myself. I had something built up so that when I came in for an interview, they kind of already knew whether or not I had the job pretty much.
Speaking of trolling fan portfolios, enter Tobin.
Yeah. I did a piece of Funhouse fan art probably like almost 2 years ago.
Game of Thrones stuff. You guys remember those? The Funhouse Game of Thrones ones with James as a knight, and I think you did a who else did you do? Joel? Or Adam?
I think it was Adam.
Yeah.
I think it was those two, and then from that came the Funhouse poster.
The one with the whole cast as that Game of Thrones look.
Yeah, I was inspired by that. And then I worked freelance for Rooster Teeth for a while, and then I'm here now. I've been working here about 8 months now.
Tobin's probably our most heavily illustrative-minded
Yeah.
designer, which is really helpful. And Tobin is making some really amazing stuff. Most recently, the RT Podcast limited edition screen print poster. That was this asshole. And this asshole is working on an Achievement Hunter one as well.
Yep.
That is really fucking funny and really awesome looking. And I tried to get him to let me tease it, but he's a perfectionist and he didn't want you guys to see it unfinished. But
I'm recording my process, so if anyone's interested in how I make them, we'll be putting that up on social or something.
yeah.
So
That'll be another limited edition screen print. And it looks really awesome already as is, and he's not even done with it. So very excited
Thank
about that.
So, me.
Michelle,
Yes. Oh, gosh. I'm just going to scoot closer.
just steal the mic. Oh. I don't know. I design sometimes. I'd rather you guys hear about Michelle. It's much more interesting.
So, I came to the company about 8 months ago, so I'm still pretty new. I used to work for an anime company called Funimation, so I have a
Never heard of that.
It's a
Small
company.
animation company.
Yeah, so I have a background in packaging and logo design. I would basically take the Japanese logo and make them English. So I have a strong identity background, and so when I joined Rooster Teeth back in about October, I do a lot of that stuff. I do a lot of show logos. I've done like AH Animated and the new Tuesday Night Game Fight that's coming out. I did that. So pretty much that's what I do, and shirt design.
Any animes that they would know that you've done the conversion logo?
Ruby?
You didn't do the Ruby conversion logo. No, from when you're in Funimation.
Oh yeah, Your Name. I did Your Name.
Oh, you did your name.
I did.
There's another one recently that you were really excited about.
Oh, My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
I worked on that.
That's the one. So yeah.
So yep, that's my stuff. So.
Any merch that you've done for us recently that you can give a shout out that people know?
A lot of the Jeff shirts I worked on. Yeah.
Which ones?
This one. All of the like thin-lined ones are mine, I think.
Yeah. I think everybody.
Jeff doesn't design those.
Have you done a Jeff shirt yet, Tony? No, Jeff doesn't design. He just goes that one when we like present a bunch of them.
I'm knee deep in new Jeff stuff now.
Yeah.
I have nothing out yet.
You and I haven't done a Jeff shirt yet.
No.
Someday we'll get to.
Together.
Everyone else gets to do it. Tom's done the majority of the Jeff shirts, right?
I don't know if I'd say a majority, a fair amount of
Pull the mic towards you, bro. You've done a good amount of them.
the thick line ones.
The thick line ones. All right, so that's how we distribute.
That's how we know.
Tom, introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Tom Lasardi. I work at Rooster Teeth because I answered a sketchy Craigslist posting 5 years ago. And I had been doing like a lot of pre-press stuff before that. A lot of like in the way that you see things laid out, whether it be like booth stuff or like in the store, you see like the pieces that denote where certain brands of shirts are, or like checkpoints, like creating the press files for those. And before that, I had been doing a lot of stuff for web, like little design shops, little boutique agencies where like, well, we want this UI or this UX, and we have this particular type of clientele, and they react like in a certain way to certain color palette or certain type of materials, and working with that. I'm like a cleanup hitter around the office. Well, yeah, like Michelle does a lot of branding, and Tony does a lot of illustration. And
Tom, you're still one of our just kind of anything and everything stuff. That I mean, you do merch and random branding stuff. The unconventional, that was you, right?
Yeah.
That was the unconventional logo. It was Tom. It was very good.
I'm digging working on logos for shows.
Yeah.
I had originally not wanted to work in film because of directors, but
it's worked out here.
Yeah, no, it's nice.
Tom's got a series of camp shirts that are coming out that I'm very, very excited about.
Me too.
Yeah. So that's some stuff to look forward to with Tom. And I'm John, and I designed some stuff, and you guys don't need to hear about me at all. So that's our family. I'm happy to introduce you to them. I'm realizing also we didn't invite our newest member. I don't know if she's here. Is Giselle here? Okay, so sad. We're terrible. We also did hire a new marketing designer to allow for Tony to move over to merch, and so we have another person as Giselle, and we're constantly growing the family. So keep making awesome stuff, and hopefully we'll find it. But that's about all the shtick I have for the beginning of this. So if you guys have some questions, I believe we have a guardian with a microphone. He's back there. If you want to just raise your hand, I'll call you out, and you guys can answer. This gentleman right here wearing a blue and pink shirt.
Hey, I have two questions. First is, what are your thoughts on Adobe Muse? If you've ever heard of that.
What's
Never
Adobe
heard of it.
Muse?
It's like, I know. I just started using it.
Am I a bad designer because I don't know what Adobe Muse is?
It's like, I would compare it like to Squarespace or like even Wix, but it's
Oh,
like that.
is
It's like
there, like-
Adobe's version of that
Ah.
for like web design and stuff.
My take on it is I've just heard of it right now.
My second question is like, who's your biggest inspiration for design? Like Aaron Draplin or something like
Jesus. Anybody got quick answers for that?
I've been digging a lot of local stuff lately. There's this dude out of Austin, Owen Hammonds. He works for IBM, and he does amazing branding all the way down, from like their top tier stuff to like being able to make iconography. Bart Kibb is another great local person. Yeah, I've just been like going through like really like people you can approach. Like you'll run into them in AIGI meetings and you can pick their brains, and that's been really nice. Overall, Milton Glaser is always going to be one of my heroes.
You're saying all these names and I feel like a bad designer. I don't know these people. No, I don't. I'm just terrible.
Brooklyn Brewery?
I don't know. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Michelle, any quick answers for that one?
Ollie Moss is always a good one.
Ollie Moss is good.
Yeah.
Hydro 74. I follow a lot of his because he's like an old school. Doesn't use a pen. He does super detailed illustration, all mouse click. It's super intense. He's done a lot. He's done stuff with Star Wars from everybody up high up to down low. Super accessible on Instagram, and all the team at Johnny Cupcakes also. I follow all the Johnny Cupcakes illustrators. They manage to be different people and have one cohesive brand that is identifiable just without, no matter what shirt they make, you can tell it's a Cupcakes shirt. So I really like that about them.
I like old school designers and illustrators, like really old school, Bougereau and John Singer Sargent and stuff. Those are kind of my inspirations.
I literally don't have a name to answer because I don't have a specific designer. I'm just constantly taking inspiration from everything that I see. Movies has always been a big inspiration for me. I'm a huge movies and TV fan, and that's where I get, because there's so much design that goes into movies and TV, even just like the title sequences. One of my favorite websites is Art of the Title Sequence. It's a fantastic website. Just breaks down how these are made, and like things like True Detective and Daredevil Netflix series, and so I love those kinds of things. Next question. Got a hand raised that whole time back there, right behind Chef. That's awesome.
Wait.
There you go.
Hello. What would you say would be your best and your worst designs that you've ever made?
Best and worst.
You don't have to say those in order.
Yeah. I love Salad Chalice. That was a fun design that nobody bought. Yeah, I mean, that happens where we, sometimes we make a design and we still love it, but just because, it didn't, like, ring with the audience doesn't mean it was a bad design to us.
Most designers end up not liking anything they've ever made. As soon as it's like you're done with it and like send it to print, you're like, oh, I don't like it anymore.
Yeah.
I need to start over.
Old design is, your portfolio is your least favorite stuff you've ever done. Your favorite stuff is the next thing you're going to do.
Yep.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm getting philosophical here, guys.
Put that on the Wikipedia. Right?
Yeah. Anybody have an answer for that?
In the way that your most recent thing so quickly becomes your least favorite thing, I'm still liking the RVB shirt that we just released.
Which one?
JFK can't.
Oh, did that one come out at the store?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You can't JFK
The moon
landing.
landing. Yeah.
That was the Illuminati one. He's got it on right there. Jet fuel can't JFK the moon landing. That's what it is. That's Tom. Tom designed that one. And that one's from the most recent RVB series. I don't know. I've always loved I've always had a fond part of my heart for the Felix and Locust helmet shirts that I designed. And
Freckles too, right?
I love Freckles. I love that shirt. That's just such a stupid shirt. But those designs I love, and Tobin's actually working on another round of them for 2 more characters for RVB that are in that same vein that I think you guys will like a lot. Right here.
With the new limited release shirts, like with the Jeff shirts and the limited release screen print,
Mm-hmm.
are you taking inspiration? Did you take inspiration from things like the limited Mondo release to see if it would drive sales?
Yeah. He asked if with the limited release stuff we're doing, did we take inspiration from like how Mondo does their stuff or any other companies that do limited release? And we definitely did.
We're still learning.
Yeah, we're
Quite
still
a
learning.
bit.
And it's also a way for us, when Tobin made the RT podcast one, you really wanted it to be screen printed.
Yeah.
That was something he requested, and that's a more costly process. And often when you're making merch, it's weighing the cost versus the actual price of it. We obviously want to give you guys really good products, and we also want you guys to be able to afford these goddamn products. And so that's a constant thing. And we're like a lot of us at the company are huge Mondo fans and movie fans, and so getting to that kind of stuff was a thing we wanted to try. And so getting to do a limited release of it made it so we could kind of drive a little bit more value to the posters. So there was a limited amount, and it turns out you guys really like that. So it's kind of a way for us to get to test it out, and And also, so like with the Jeff ones, it's kind of a way for us to kind of go through a bunch of different designs and not just have a bunch of Jeff shirts filling up the store. You guys can keep on the lookout for these very limited Jeff shirts. But yeah, it's definitely just one of those models that people can adopt. It's kind of the same thing, kind of like T Fury. It literally has theirs things up, and you literally vote on there. So everyone has a different way of how they want to try to do their T-shirts, and we're trying them all out. I got a gentleman right here next to a Yang, and I'll just let both of you have a question. Why not?
Hello. My question is, should you both have a Behance or some kind of online service portfolio along with a website, or is there one more beneficial than the other?
I think you need them all.
You need them all?
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't
That's
think
both.
it matters.
Yeah. It's actually I dealt with this recently with some of my freelancers because I wanted to be able to show some of their stuff to our other brands so they could pick who they wanted to design a post or something like that, since we have so many flavors now. And they didn't really have, a couple of them didn't really have their designs updated or didn't have a space. And so it's really just have a space.
Yeah, I would say have a space, because you own that, and you can show off a little bit more there. You can kind of pinpoint what you want me to look at. But if you have something unlike a Behance, I can find you, because right now I don't know your name or your website, but if I'm trolling Behance or looking for keywords, you'll come up, and then I'll look from your Behance to see if you have a real space. If you only have a Behance, I'm like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
If it's really good, it doesn't really matter. But if you have that and it leads me to your actual space, and I'm just blown away by that.
Behance is a great option if you are in a position where you don't have money and can't host something, and so use a free service. If you can, I would encourage you get a URL.
URLs are like $3 a month. Save up.
So yeah, just any space, doesn't really matter, and just it's more so like how you present yourself is more important than the URLs attached to it.
It depends like where you are in your career a little bit.
Mhm.
Like you said, starting out Behance, and then like
I was on DeviantArt. That's where my stuff lived first. Yeah, someone just said, "Can't believe John's a furry." Yeah, it's DeviantArt. I mean, that was what was available. That was before even Behance. And so yeah, it's like you use what tools are available to you. We got a Yang. We got 2 Yangs next to it. We got like 3 Yangs in this whole section right here.
So my question is, when it comes to things like merch and T-shirts and posters, how would you design your design process from like start to finish, and all the stuff that you go through to get to that final product?
Yeah. I'll let you guys take this.
Like I said, I'm recording my process, so that'll be a little better than kind of explaining it. But usually you start with research, a bunch of research, sketching, giving it to the brands for approvals and art directors, and then finishing it out from there, usually really close to the deadline.
It's also really important to have podcasts on your second monitor, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've seen everybody's screen here, opening your Illustrator or Photoshop, having your artboard, and then the entire outside of the artboard is copied and pasted something else to look at. All your inspiration stuff, all your color palettes, all your anything that's similar. You kind of just swim in whatever you're in, and then your design happens.
I think it's important to let that inspiration marinate, like having your brain work on it, but not continually on that. Take a look at all your research, but then look away from it and let it be your own work, not just the research.
Oh, another question. You were here, and I'll go to the side of the room. I just realized I haven't answered anybody in the side of the room, so promise. I'm so biased. She has an on the spot shirt on. Oh, so good.
Yeah, I'll be at your panel tonight.
Awesome.
Don't worry. I love it.
Few people
I was the
watch
first one who gave you the best friend password yesterday.
Oh, you did. What was yours?
Storm.
Storm's a good X-Men.
I was wondering, on the spot, you always say you want like pillows and designs, but how come you don't make them for us to have?
Burn. Oh. We have pillows. They're not embroidered. They're more like for like your couch, kind of like just the other things. Often, I have a really good answer for this. Often, a lot of times why we don't have a product is because we haven't found a vendor that we like, or we can afford, or has a quantity amount that we can deal with, because we're still a growing store, we're still a growing company, we're a growing team, and so some things are a lot more complicated, like socks. Socks took a long time for us to find a company that we liked, a company that we wanted to work with, a company that had designs that we liked and a cost, that kind of thing. Same goes with any other product that's more specialized than a shirt. Everybody will make a shirt, and everybody has, you know, a cost for the shirt. But things like shoes or underwear or even the onesies you guys we sold, those take us, you know, finding a vendor. And we have a whole team of buyers now. This is the side of the design side. We also have an e-commerce side now of our company that is buyers and people that are you know, making sure you guys' orders get made and make sure that the brands are being told about their products. So as that grows, it's going to be a lot easier. We have some really cool products. The ones that I just said a second ago might be coming out soon. So look for stuff like that. And that's usually why, like, we're all, I can speak for everybody saying we're all fans of the company and want to make cool things and would totally make all this stuff immediately. It's usually the restrictions of the tools we have available, and the more that the audience and the you know, the people that are watching these shows buy this stuff, the more it gives us opportunity to make these things. Same thing like with the McFarlane Ruby figures. 3 years prior, Rooster Teeth didn't have the size or even the money to be able to afford that kind of a thing, because, you know, you had to buy a certain amount of them and they cost. But now we can, and now we can make cool shit like that. And so as it keeps growing, we'll keep coming out with more cool stuff. I think the sub box has shown that we throw just a bunch of random things in there that we never would have sold before. So yeah, that's usually what it is.
Thank you.
Cool. Tony, you pick a question.
Gross shirt. It
Jesus.
says gross. It says gross for everything.
Her shirt says gross. Tony's not an asshole.
What advice
Let me
or
pick.
software or just what in general would you suggest for someone who's trying to teach themselves graphic design and learn that sort of thing by themselves?
I'm going with like Adobe is obviously industry standard. Like when you're submitting stuff to vendors, that it's the easiest. Like start off with whatever you're most comfortable with, but any workspace you're going to go into that's in this field, you're going to end up exporting out of Adobe product pretty heavily, is what I've discovered. I've worked at a few different places and they're all about the same.
Yeah, between like education discounts and trial periods and that kind of thing, they're trying to, and with like Adobe Cloud now, they're trying to make their service even more accessible. But yeah, in the end, the sooner you can learn Adobe, the sooner you're going to get to that professional level. Right here, front row. I'm gonna make it hard for you, bro. Sorry. I'll pick someone in the back next time, promise.
Is it working?
There we go.
Okay. I have 3 questions, but they're real quick questions. Okay. Number 1, why is there not more on the spot merch in the store? I was really pissed off trying to find some. And 2, why do you not design more women's fitted shirts for the women that want to buy something that's not as boxy as the guys? And 3, you know, John, I already told you last night, I'm only here for you.
Thank you.
Because I was dragged into red versus blue, and finally he showed me on the spot, and I was like, oh, thank God, something I can...
I'm so glad on the spot saved you from red versus blue.
I like red versus blue, but I prefer to watch something cute, and I got to... I feel like I have another son when I watch John at home.
You.
I want to adopt him. So my third question is, shit.
We can answer the first 2, and then you maybe think of your third one. On the spot merch. I don't know. Why don't you guys design on the spot merch for me, huh?
Oh, I know.
That's a question that is an answer that's more generic than just on the spot. We design for what you guys are watching and what you're buying. So when we release stuff and it does really well, that shows us that you want more of that. When we release, that goes for merch or for videos. And also we have a limited amount of resources. We have a limited amount of time. We have a limited amount of designers. So we have to focus on what is going to be best for the store and the company. It's a company, you know, we're trying to make money. Sorry.
We didn't make any enjoy the show shirts, right? Did we make?
We did not make any Enjoy the Show shirts. But with On the Spot has just got 2 shirts.
2.
And a mug.
Yeah, I have the mug.
And a sticker, I think. I want to make more, and I think
We
enough
want
time
more.
has thank you, I appreciate that. And I think enough time has gone by. Maybe if one of these guys can come up with a better idea than anything I've come up with, that'd be awesome. And the same thing goes for the women's fitted. We're learning our demographic and constantly looking at data. And I know that it looks like we've got a large swath of people of our audience here at RTX. We do. There's thousands of you here, tens of thousands. We have hundreds of thousands of people out who are watching these videos and shopping the RT store. And so the more that we get an audience that is going to buy something, the more we'll sell it. We in the past tried out girl stuff. And in the past, it didn't do so well. It's doing better now because more of you ladies are buying it. We've got better blanks that we're selling with the barb line and these more premium kind of fitted kind of pieces. And so the more that those get bought, the more that's a ringing voice of like, we will buy more. And so I can say that's just kind of our process. We're not actively trying to just be like, fuck you girls, as boys club. We're not doing that. We definitely like, it's even just for the ladies in our office, it's the best thing in the world when they get to be like, I get to wear RT merch that fits us. Right, ladies? Yeah. So yeah, that's the answer, is that it's we're not trying to not sell it. It's that we do it at a slow pace because that's how we have to do it. We have to just kind of see how things are going. We can't just take a bunch of huge risks and then lose a bunch of money and then we don't get to make any more merch. So that's just kind of how it works.
My last question.
You figured it out.
Yeah, I did. Which one of you designed the gaming jersey? And do you have a silver pin at the signing?
We'll have silver pens in the signing,
Okay.
and the gaming jerseys are a combination of a company that sometimes with some of our products we can now, like with kind of some of the off-topic stuff, we can provide assets and style guides and that kind of thing, and then they'll come to us with designs and we'll tweak as needed and make sure it's on brand. But we have other companies who will design stuff for us. So like a lot of the off-topic stuff they designed from our own ideas, our assets and that kind of thing. And with the jerseys, same thing. This is a company that's an expert in that kind of design, and they did that for us. I gotta can someone else from behind the screen come back and help and ask someone a question, please? Idiots who are back there. Okay.
Thank you for finally inviting me onto my panel. I'm so sorry you had to go to the John Reisinger panel starring John Reisinger, featuring John Reisinger and Chris Demers. No, it's a good thing. Thank God. Thank God. So, yeah. Everyone's names on the panel? No. Well, what's your name?
Are we doing that again?
Are we doing names? Yeah, let's do names.
No, you gotta give them names.
Yeah.
I don't want to play this game. I don't want to play this game. Unless we all make up fake names and we're going to agree we're all going to do fake names ahead of time.
Okay, someone have a question for Chris?
When are you gonna design? I can't speak English.
I can't either. It's hard.
When are you gonna design more shirts for the RT store?
I have designed shirts for the Rooster Teeth store. I have, absolutely. I have.
Name it.
What's that? The
It's
RT
the 4K.
4K 8-bit. I designed that shirt. I did design that shirt because it was for a short, and then we just took the logo I did for the short, and it became a shirt. So you're welcome.
Thank you, Chris, for all your contributions to the RT store. All right. Anybody got questions for these guys who actually design stuff? Michelle, pick someone.
Green jacket.
So, so which do you guys enjoy more? Designing something like the Ruby posters where you can sort of choose what you want to do with it, or one of the meme type shirts that pretty much sort of the design is sort of speaks for itself, kind of. I imagine you get a little. Obviously you gotta use some creative thing for the shirts, but generally the sort of stuff that, say, Achievement Hunter said.
You mean more like do we prefer to design stuff from original concept or do more parody kind of stuff?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
I enjoy the more open-ended, like meme type shirts. It allows me to be more creative, kind of, and I don't have to stick as close to a brand like Ruby. So yeah, meme shirts.
I'd say I prefer the opposite. I like the parameters that are ascribed when you have to work with a client.
Tom's a rules guy.
I think it's a good balance. I like when I have creative freedom to kind of do whatever I want and have fun with it, and that's when like my brain just kind of goes crazy and I come up with something really cool. There are other days when that gets really, really hard to do because creative block is a real thing, just like writer's block, and it can take me 3 days to design a shirt, or it can take me 2 weeks. Sometimes it just depends on how I'm feeling that day. So, for example, I did the RTX program, which that was really fun because it was just like text. I know what I'm supposed to do. It's not, there is creativity there, but it's pretty much set in stone to what this thing is supposed to be. So I'd say it's a balance.
Tony?
Oh, I'm answering the same question, or am I picking?
You don't have to.
I like the no rules, no rules design. Like the box, I think the stupidest thing I'm the most proud of is the bread towel that I did in like 2 boxes ago. I've been wanting to do a no wet bread piece of merchandise for really long, and that's along the lines of things we can't make because not enough people will buy. But the box is already sold. You've already bought it. You're gonna get a no wet bread towel.
Suckers.
That made me the most happy that I could make 5,000 of you have a no wet bread towel.
Yeah. Oh, do I have to answer it too? Nah. Blue shirt.
Hey, so this is more of like an illustration focused question. Do you guys prefer to do like more of like inking, sketching, and then like scanning it in and then working through it digitally, or just like starting from scratch with like a Wacom or something and just like doing like that sort of method where it's like more just starting from scratch on 2D or like on the computer, or just like doing something more tactile first and then scanning it in?
Yeah, I do really rough sketches traditionally, but I never scan them in. I've been working in Photoshop for over a decade, so I'm pretty comfortable with starting there. And sometimes I don't even start with post-it note sketches. I just start right in Photoshop.
I like as much concepting time as possible. So if at all possible, like given like time frames, like drawing it out by hand and then scanning it in. But like a lot of the time that just doesn't, it's not feasible.
We never have that much time.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys saw the Texas community shirt, but it says "Don't mess with rooster teeth." I tried drawing that out on my sketchbook, and it just doesn't work sometimes. So yeah, computer Wacom for sure.
I can't draw. So yeah, I've said that. I've been open about that because everyone asks like, "Can I be a graphic designer and not be able to illustrate?" I'm like, I'm been doing it for 15 years, so don't tell me now. But I actually still do really crappy concept sketch sometime in like just a notepad or even a post-it note just to get my idea down on the more so for composition. That's mostly for me because if it involves text or some layout of a few assets, I'll figure it out of my head on a piece of paper. But for the most part, digital. Tom, you want to pick one?
Hunter S. Thompson.
The white hat with the red. It's a Hunter S. Thompson.
Have you ever made a piece of merch that you just said, we can't release this?
Yes.
I think they're all mine.
Next question. Black beanie.
Hello. I was wondering whether it's like internships or portfolios or how to reach out to companies like you. Do you have any advice that you could direct at students who feel like they have a lot of ground to cover in order to get where they want to get, which is like up there with you guys?
AIGA, most important thing, start a community. Like we have a community here. There's a community of designers and illustrators, and everybody in the creative field. Start building those relationships. Go to the meetups. They'll do like dinners and outings, happy hours. Like a lot of schools have their own chapters, so you don't even have to go off campus for that. And then having a portfolio site, and then just start getting your work out there. Don't do it for free. Like, don't give your stuff away. Know that you're valued, but start doing like little projects as soon as you can, so you can start that word of mouth. Be like, oh, this person made me a logo. This person made me a brochure. You can grow from there pretty quickly.
Yeah, just all those things he says, very valid, and especially like make a ton of stuff. The more you make, hopefully the better you get, and the better you get when you do get noticed, you'll get noticed for something they want to hire you for. So, yeah. We got lots of questions. We got yellow bandana scarf.
Do you normally use a vector or raster program when creating designs?
Depends.
Depends on the project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Both are usable. We love to work in Illustrator which is a vector-based program for T-shirts, because it's really easy to separate colors for screen printing. Tobin's in Photoshop all the time drawing.
I use both sometimes though, and I'll switch back and forth between raster and vector, just depending on the needs. But anything illustrative, I much prefer Photoshop.
Yeah, smart objects have changed the game.
Mhm.
It's kind of easy to jump back and forth, way easier than it used to be.
Yeah, it all depends on the project. I mean, you guys compiled the program in what, InDesign?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's that kind of a program.
And that's like you're using mostly what I do is I use Photoshop for like photo heavy stuff and do like textures and layer and fun stuff, and then I layer that onto an Illustrator file and link it so that all of my text is actually vector, so that when it prints, the text is crisp and clear. So that's what I do.
Redhead with black lipstick.
I like how that's my defining features.
All I can say is colors. I can say colors.
Thanks. So I am not a designer, and this is probably a boring question, but I was wondering, like, conceptually speaking, how do you guys choose the ideas? Like, is it all like independent stuff, or do you like design in like a round table situation where you're like, oh, we want this on this shirt, this on that shirt? Like, how does that process work?
Tony, how's that work?
I feel like every answer is super vague, but not intentionally. So there's a couple different ways. Like, sometimes a brand will come to us. Like, Camp is like, we haven't seen a Camp shirt in a while. This character's doing well. Make us a Camp shirt. Do this, do that. Sometimes it's the number people. They're saying, we're selling out of this Ruby shirt. This Ruby shirt's just flying out. We need 2 more SKUs to go in the Ruby line. Fill this line out. Sometimes it's a meme. Sometimes the shirt designs itself. Somebody says something.
Sometimes they mess around with a gold nugget in a stupid game a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And we get told, you need to make a nugget shirt. It's like, okay, sure.
Yeah, the best.
And then you guys buy it.
I feel like the best ones are just somebody has an idea and you work it up the ladder and you get approval from everybody and it works. But probably over half of them come from, there's holes to fill. The number of people say this goes here. This show's coming out, so we need shirts to coincide with the launch of this. A lot of it's dictated by like a marketing schedule, and then the other half is dictated kind of by content. Like what's the community doing or talking about, or what are the shows that are doing really well.
It's a very open process. Everyone's allowed to pitch stuff. That's everybody on the team, and that's everybody in the company. We value the knowledge that the people who work on these brands have of their brand, and so we're always happy to be suggested. I joke about the Nug Club thing, but that was a good idea, and we made it, and we sold it, and it went well. So we're always open to that kind of thing. I think the same thing happened with the AWU shirt that Tobin just designed with the cross weapons. That was kind of something that we noticed was happening, and then Awu was like, we should make a shirt for this, and they even like pitched like concept designs for us, and then we used that, and Tobin made a cool shirt. You did make that shirt, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
John works there, I swear.
I do sometimes. Sometimes I'm in my chair. Blue hair in the back. Oh, you're all over there. Wait, someone over here with a raised hand. Right there. We'll get to you next, and you can go back to you. Bastion Bird.
Quick question: with the time frame you guys have from initial request to the actual final product and the release, what's your average time frame or schedule that you have?
All right. While we're answering this, you're going to go to that lady with the blue hair. Okay. Time frame.
It depends.
Who wants to give the vague answer this time?
Vague answers. The panel.
In a perfect world, we'd like 2 weeks to design something. That's usually not how it goes, and we've got like 5 different things we're working on at the same time, so it's just dictated by deadlines, really.
Yeah.
The things you can get ahead of, like we're gonna have Jeff shirts are launching on this cadence. Day 5 comes out at this point. Ruby 5 comes out at this point. So there's certain things you can kind of get ahead of, and then things will just appear. Like somebody will like Awu or something will happen, and that gets we need that real quick, and so you move that thing to the side, and everything just kind of gets pushed down the row, and then you stay up really late and finish it.
It also takes about 2 weeks to get something produced, so you have to pad your time frame of like knowing like how long it's actually going to take to print or to make.
Yeah. And then there's projects like some of our more illustratively heavy posters that we give Tobin more time than 2 weeks to work on it. There was blue hair.
Sorry. How early in the shirt design process do you decide how many colors you're going to limit it to, and or if you're going to, for a more illustrative look, if you're going to switch to like sublimation printing or sublimation over white if it's on a black shirt?
It's kind of comes down to a cost thing often and a quality of the product. Often with sublimation and like full process color printing, it doesn't come out as pretty, and sometimes it kind of can feel weird. You guys feel those shirts that you can almost feel the ink and it's sticky, or the almost feels like a sticker. So that's kind of a bummer when we have to do that. We're always pushing to use as few colors as possible because that brings the costs down, which allows us to make a little bit more off of it, which is good for our the success of the shirt. But I don't think we've ever sacrificed a shirt's quality by limiting the colors. It's just something that in our brains we're always trying to see what we could do. But for instance, did the Slow-Mo Guy shirt that you made come out? It came out here at RTX.
It came out, sold out, I think.
Slow-Mo Guy one with the Rick and Morty kind of looking one. That one has a bunch of colors. And
I want to say 10.
Yeah, 10, which is a lot more than we usually do, as opposed to like a single color text shirt. But we did it because it made it's what the shirt needed. It's whatever the design needs, and it's up to the designer to always kind of make that call. I'll always like challenge them, be like, hey, what happens if you got rid of this color? And if it looks bad, we're not going to put it out. So it's just it's in your mind as you're designing T-shirts, and I think that's something that a lot of people here who hadn't designed a lot of T-shirts have to kind of learn, and you kind of learn that you can't just use all the colors. Right here, glasses. Okay.
I'm studying to be a high school theater teacher,
Mm-hmm.
and when you teach high schoolers about the areas of theater, you focus on publicity.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just wondering what elements or principles you guys would suggest to teach high schoolers, just basic design concepts.
Do you want us to tell you how to teach a design class for high schoolers? Okay, I'll answer this real quick, and I'll open up to you guys to give any suggestions. But I used to be an adjunct professor for college, and I can kind of downgrade this a little bit. But it's often the basics. Color and layout are very important things. Just learning how those things work together, and that's one of the first classes I ever took. And then also just at this day and age, learn how to use the tools. I taught a Illustrator 101 class. It was very boring. It was just literally to teach the students how to use the goddamn pen tool in Illustrator, which is a bitch. And so that's kind of where it starts. It's like you got to learn your theory. Does red look good next to this color? That kind of thing. And then how do I actually get from here into the computer? That kind of thing. Anybody else have any suggestions?
Composition and color, like you said, color theory, really important. one of the first projects I remember working on, which might be transitionable into high school, was creating images out of text. Make a portrait out of text using a particular typeface or whatnot. And you can learn a lot really quickly from doing something like that.
Someone else pick a question.
Still coming with the microphone.
He's right there. He's
I'll
doing his
use the
cardio.
mic. Hi. I was wondering, as like if you were like a freelance like graphic designer, how do you start like figuring out like your pricing or like how much you're worth?
Half guess, and then also I think it's cool if you start asking other people. You know, actually a good way to start is to be like, how much do I think this is worth an hour, and how many hours is this project going to take me, and that's often a good start. But yeah, it's definitely a guessing game of how to start that off.
It's really hard starting off. It's really just trial and error. You just kind of pick a number randomly, ask people, see what they're doing, kind of value yourself. Like, what do you think you're worth? Like, how fast can you finish it? Whatever. And then if you're not getting a good paycheck at the end of that, up it for next time, and just kind of go from there.
Yeah.
There are ways to research that, and there's like different locales around the country have different pay scales, and you can search like what are the average prices for these, like somebody with a year experience, 5 years experience in LA or Toronto or wherever, and there are frames that it makes that guessing game a little bit easier.
Question over here.
It's like you look at where he's at and you go across the room.
I'm not even paying attention to where he's running. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to be even with everybody.
Hi. Oh, hi. Thank you for the wet bread towel. That was my favorite thing in that loot
I'm
box.
so happy.
And it confused my mom.
That's what I want.
When I put it in the kitchen, it was great. But I guess
Tony also made that horribly loud emoji hat. That is right there. Yeah, that thing.
Yes. Thank you. I like this part of the panel.
What else do we love about Tony?
I by no means am a professional artist. I'm going to school to be a lawyer, but I make fan art, and every time I post something, I'm terrified that people aren't going to like it. Did you ever have that anxiety, and how'd you get over it?
No, I've never questioned myself as an artist ever, and if you do, you're not a real artist, okay? So stick to lawyering. Anybody else have an answer for that?
Definitely. Yeah, go.
Art is a very passionate thing. It comes from your heart, and it is very, very hard to kind of put it out there for the world. You just gotta trust in yourself. You just gotta do it, and if people don't like it, who cares? Fuck them. Like, it's fine.
Spoiler alert, you're gonna make bad stuff.
Yeah, it happens. Like, we've all been there. So just do what makes you happy. Don't care what other people think.
Chase your bliss.
It's gonna happen. Yeah, everyone here has trolled the comments on a thing that they posted just to see the one person, or I stood in a section of the store where they were selling my things to see if anybody just like picked it up. If you don't, yeah, everyone's gonna do something like that, and you, like anything else, you develop a thicker and thicker skin. And now, I put a wet bread T-shirt out, and who cares? I like it. It made me happy, and so you balance the what makes you happy with the whoever the client is. If right now you're the client, if you're happy, you're good.
Pink sweater. Oh, I keep filling with this.
Coming soon.
Okay, yeah. So you gave me a baby hand, and now I've been messing with the baby hand. She gave me one of the baby hands that we use for on the spot. It's actually signed now. I don't know why it's signed. Anybody want this? I'm just gonna toss it. There you go. Yeah. Na 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 na. Just shit on my dick. Wait, do you guys know that's the lyrics? Okay. Any question from those two gentlemen in the far back? Look like they might be brothers. Gray shirt. You got a question? You have a question? I got a question back there. Gray shirt, a little bit too muscly for his own good. Maybe needs to drink more water.
We need bigger shirts.
So I definitely need to drink more water. So usually when I carry around a notepad with me for ideas for writing, do you ever just you carry around shirts in your back pocket in case anything comes across you want to just sketch out really quick in the cafe?
Anybody?
I usually have a field notebook with me.
So Tom went for a real answer.
Screw you, Tom.
Fucked up your joke, bro. No, I don't. Stop being a dumbass. Go write something.
And,
What
and
have
how
you
much
made?
longer is the panel?
We have 5 minutes, so we should go rapid fire on this. Could you like pick a spot and stand and just have people stand by you, and people could just do rapid fire questions real quick? Can we do that? Okay, he's your line. If you want a question, you gotta be quick with your question. Get behind him, and the gentleman with a lot of badges on his vest.
I was gonna ask you guys more patches coming out because I got some open space I need to fill.
We have patches coming out. They're very easy to make, and we love
On the
making
spot?
them. I don't know. Maybe.
Okay.
Sure. Yes. Why not? I'll say yes. It might not. I can lie.
Canon now. It's canon.
Yeah.
For people in the general creative process, do you have kind of tips and tricks for creative block?
Stop working.
No, it's
go,
true.
Go do something else. Anything.
I used to go to Disneyland. You can't do that, but yeah, go do something else. Yeah, go do something else. It's you gotta let your subconscious work on it.
Who's your favorite X-Men?
Phantom X. Figure that shit out.
Okay, merch idea. A diddle finger belt. Because I really wanted one, but I'm not creative enough to make one.
We literally don't have a belt for anybody else. Why would the first belt we make be an on-the-spot one?
Amazing. And I really want one to point.
Then yes, we're gonna make it.
Cool. And also, I love your Dwight shirt. Yeah.
Are you guys gonna make any immersion merchandise?
Immersion's harder because a lot of the immersions tie into other brands that we're partnering with. There was an immersion piece of merchandise in the last RT box. I swear I'm not pimping the RT box because I wanted to do one, but I did a waterproof phone bag. But it's a lot of the brands is what I've run into.
Yeah, those restrictions as well as we don't do immersion as often as other shows, and so sometimes it's hard to merchandise on it. But not saying no. If a good idea comes up, we do it. Yeah, we totally would. We would never turn down doing immersion merch.
Okay, this is kind of scummy, but John, can you sign my badge?
I'll hang out after the panel, and we'll do
Okay,
some signing.
nice. What if I said it was my birthday and you sign it now?
I just said yes.
'Cause
What
it
more do
is.
you want, dude?
I don't want to stay afterwards.
You know what? Fuck
though.
you. No, I'm gonna sign everybody else but you.
Happy birthday.
This isn't really a question, but I do watch On the Spot probably way too much, and John, you're probably the only other person I
There's
know.
an on-the-spot making a panel after this. You guys don't have to. Okay, sorry. What was your question?
You're like the only other person I know. I don't have a sense of smell either.
Yeah, anosmia.
Thank you.
Hi. I was just wondering if you could use any quote, like your favorite quote from like Achievement Hunter or whatever, and you could put it on a shirt. What would it be? Like not worrying about any sales or anything.
Can't be bothered.
Oh, it's almost like we're working on a shirt for that. Anybody else got an answer?
Probably like curse words or something, but we can't do that. So.
Yeah, we try to make the shirts like wearable at school because we have a lot of students and we can't just have like cunt on a shirt, you know? They'll get in trouble.
Hey everybody. So John, earlier you mentioned that you draw a lot of inspiration from movies. So I'm wondering if you guys have like a favorite poster you're like, oh fuck yeah, I wish I designed that, or anything like that.
All the time.
Yeah.
Do you have like one specific one that's like your favorite though, or?
No, there's always going to be someone better than you, so I like looking at those people and drawing inspiration from them.
Yeah, it's hard to nail down. Movie posters are a passion of mine, and so just it's a constant thing where people are designing amazing stuff that I love. I can't even think of one right now off the top of my head. Did someone say X-Men? Actually, I didn't really like their marketing. It sucked.
Well, kind of can't answer his. The Godzilla poster that's hanging in the Alamo at Mueller, that's by Mondo. It catches my eye every time. But my question is, for the shows, do you design just like the style and then hand that off to people to do all the transitions and things like that, or are y'all pretty immersed in like all that goes into the logos and things for the shows and transitions and stuff like that?
When you say transitions, what are you referencing?
3D.
Like on the spot, you know, the hand comes in.
Okay,
and
yeah,
then,
you're talking about motion design.
Yeah, things like that.
Yeah, often the static logos will come from us,
Okay.
and then motion design's another department, and they make pretty intro graphics and all that kind of stuff for us using our stuff. So like Tom did unconventional, and he designed the concept of the logo, and then they animated it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Probably breaking con etiquette by asking a second question, but a while back in the Ruby community, there was this person on Redbubble that designed these Ruby scroll phone cases that blew up and got really big, and of course they got shut down because of copyright. Are we ever going to see those in the RT store?
I don't know. I actually don't know what this is referencing. We do get a lot of times where we have to kind of ask people to like, don't do what I was doing before I got hired, because if we don't protect our brand, then we lose the value of the brand, and we also lose claim to it. And also, it's like, hey, we're a company that we're trying to make money and trying to actually make more stuff. So the more you take money from us, it kind of sucks. I don't know that particular product, so I don't really have a good answer for that. But generally,
It's just a piece of general tech in the Ruby world.
I don't know. Sorry, bad answer.
Can everyone except John sign this banana?
Why do you have a motherfucking banana? Yes, all of them can sign it. I'm happy to not sign your banana.
Thank you.
Any more questions? We're out of time. Cool. We'll come around there.